Welcome back to Yoga for Recovery. If you are new to the sequence, make sure that you read the description below because I always try to add some modifications or explanations that you may need. Two things to note. So I want to make sure you have some sort of bolster or pillow. This will just be used towards our final resting pose, so for now just toss it off to the side. So for that final resting pose, I know we usually end up in Shavasana. I do have something planned with the bolster for that. However, I know a lot of you love legs up the wall. If you do have a wall behind you and you prefer to take that, I'm just going to quickly show you how to get in and out of it to make it easier. So as you can tell, I obviously don't have the best wall behind me for legs up the wall, so that's why I'm trying to give you that option. So you're going to come up to get into the pose, up right up against the wall. Pretend there's that imaginary wall hip right up against it. You're going to begin to start to lean back, and as you do, lift the legs up into the air and just start to swivel your body so that way your legs can straighten and lean right up against the wall. If you feel like you're a little far away, just wiggle yourself a bit closer before relaxing with the arms nice and open. To get out of the pose, simply just bring the knees to the chest, roll to your side, and then use your hands to help lift your way back up. So it's that simple, and so if you do prefer that pose for Shavasana, go ahead and take it. Now to get started, we are going to lay down on our backs on the mat, so come all the way down and we will begin. Start by allowing your eyes to close with a few gentle blinks and just follow your natural breath, giving yourself that chance to just arrive on the mat and in the space. Become aware of your breath. Is it short and rapid, or is it slow and smooth? No judgment. We're becoming aware so that way we can see where our body and mind is at in this moment. Begin to lengthen the breath, taking those deep inhales and long exhales. Our breath is our one constant. It helps us anchor into the present moment. Feeling every inhale, expanding every inch and corner of the body. You're feeling more light, more calm. And use every exhale to just ground the body further to that mat below you. Relax with the exhale. Be aware of your mind. Is it wandering? When it does, simply practice just pushing the thought aside and coming back to the breath each and every time. Just like when we become aware of our breath, there is no judgment, no positive, no negative. It simply is what it is. So keep focusing on that breath, allowing your surroundings to just be. With your next few breaths, give your body a quick scan from head to toe, noticing any injuries or soreness. Assess your energy levels so you can respect that throughout your entire practice. Give your fingers and toes a little wiggle, bringing some physical sensation back to the body. Start by reaching those arms up above the head and take a nice long body stretch. And then we're going to bring that left knee towards the chest, hug it nice and tight. Try to even bring the left knee outside of the chest as if you're trying to pull it down and towards that left armpit, just opening up our hip. And begin to release that left leg back down, bring the right knee to the chest, hug it nice and tight. And then we want to try to bring that right knee outside of the chest towards that right armpit. Back to the center, bring the left knee to the chest, hug them tight, and either roll to one side or begin to rock back and forth so you come up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Starting with our neck stretch, sitting nice and tall, tilt that head up towards the ceiling. Really reach with that chin so you don't compress in the back of the neck. Get that nice deep stretch. Maybe even part the lips slightly. And then lifting your head back up, tuck the chin to the chest. If you need a bit more pressure, you can always use your palms on the back of the head and gently tug down. And release. Start by bringing that right hand to the mat. Inhale the left arm up and exhale it over to the right side. Nice side body stretch. You can always bend as far as you need into that right elbow. Make sure you feel that left hip really sinking down towards the mat as you reach to the right. Take your gaze to the ceiling. Deep breaths, expand the body. And lifting yourself back up, left hand to the mat, right arm, inhale it up and exhale to the left. Again, make sure that you're feeling that right hip sinking down as you reach to the left. You can always take that gaze back to the ceiling, really breathe, expand the ribs, get that nice side body stretch. Now you're going to take that right arm and bring it outside of the left knee. Really lift that chest up and lean it over the left knee, getting a nice deeper stretch into that low back. And then begin to walk your hands to the center and over to that right knee. Make sure you're really lifting that chest up and over the right knee. Get that nice low back stretch with lowering that chest down a bit further. And lifting your way back up, just swing your knees to one side so you can come up to a neutral tabletop. Keep those wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. On your next inhale, sink that stomach towards the mat, tilt the head and pelvis up. And exhale, reach high through that mid-back, tugging the head and pelvis under. Inhale, sink, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And exhale, rise, pushing the shoulder blades apart. Just continue following that natural breath of yours. Really connect with the breath here. Feel the body warming up. Feel yourself getting some of that mobility in the spine, down the back. And after your next natural exhale, come back to a neutral tabletop. Starting with our left leg, you're going to bring that knee out to the side, still bent, and then bring it up behind the body, arch that back a bit. Bring the left knee to the chest, round through the back, and continue with that cycle, left knee out to the side, up behind, and then to the chest. Continue with those nice rotations with the hips, trying to make it more fluid as you go. And release to the mat, of course using that right knee this time, bring it out to the side, still bent, then up behind the body, arch the back, then to the chest, round the back. Continue that cycle, rotating the hip, very nice. Try to get it as smooth as you can. And back down to the mat. And now you're going to start by trying to swivel that left hip to the side as if you're trying to touch your left shoulder to your left hip. Get a nice side bend, even gaze to that left hip. Then swivel to the right, try to touch that right shoulder to that hip. And then to the left, again you can gaze to your hip. And to the right. And to the left. Another to the right, and to the left, one more to the right, and then coming back to center. Now you're going to lift up on the knees, tuck the chin to the chest, slightly round through that upper back and let the hands hang. Begin to sway a little side to side. Again, just getting a nice stretch down our spine into our low back for our zombie hangs. You can always add just a tiny twist when you get to the side if you feel that your spine and your back can handle that. Coming back to the tabletop, you're going to open up the knees, sit back on the heels, reach the arms forwards for a child's pose. Bring that forehead to the mat. Making sure here in child's pose that you want to still keep it a little bit active. You want to feel as if your shoulder blades are sinking down the back as the crown of the head reaches forwards. Get that nice lengthening happening with the spine. Start to walk your hands over to the left side. Here you're going to feel that right arm reaching a little bit further and really breathe into that side body. Expand the ribs, expand the lungs, still keeping your forehead to the mat. And then begin to walk your hands back to the center and over to the right. This time you'll feel that left hand reaching that little bit further. Still really feeling like you're breathing, expanding into the ribs, the lungs. Get that nice side body stretch. And then coming back to the center, start to lift your way back up to a neutral tabletop. Just drop your weight to one side of the mat so you can bring those feet out in front of you. From here, we're going to open our knees and feet as wide as we can and start by bringing that right foot to the inside of that left thigh. Left hand to the mat beside you and inhale that right arm up. Exhale it over to the left. Get that nice side body stretching again. You can always take your gaze to the ceiling. But if you do have anything like arthritis or injuries to the neck, just gaze forwards. And then from here, we're going to take that right hand to the inside of your left leg, trying to lift, twist, and place your chest down over the knee. If you need a little bit more help, you can always take that right hand on your ankle to help pull yourself a bit more into the twist. Coming back to the center, switching up the legs, of course bringing that left foot to the inside of the right thigh this time. Right hand to the mat, inhale that left arm up and exhale it over to the right. Another side body stretch, really getting that nice opening into the hips. Deepen that breath, still paying attention there. And bring that left hand to the inside of your right leg. Again, we're going to lift that chest up, slight twist, and place it down over your right leg. Again, if you need that extra help, you can take the left hand on the ankle and help kind of pull yourself into it just a little bit, very gentle. Any low back issues, don't force anything. And lifting your way back up, bring those legs just out in front of you, give them a little shake, keep everything loose. And then we're going to come down onto our back, bring the knees to the chest and just give them a nice tight squeeze. Scooting your butt a little bit over to the right, let those knees fall to the left for a deep twist. Open up your arms, you can always keep them bent at the elbow if you need. If this is a little bit too deep, you can always push the knees away from the chest or place a bolster underneath the knees to keep them lifted. If it's not deep enough, just bring the knees towards the chest. Make sure that you're feeling that right shoulder still sinking down towards the mat. We want to try to keep that upper back nice and flat. You might feel that your breath is a little bit shortened here. Just make sure that you're keeping it still nice and smooth and controlled. Don't give in to the rapid breathing. And begin to lift those knees back up to the center, this time scooting your butt a little bit over to the left, and gently let those knees fall to the right, modifying for the twist that worked best for you. And even when you get into the opposite side, take a moment to just analyze and see if one side is feeling tighter than the other. This can help you become aware in just your everyday life what you might be doing, any habits you may have that are contributing to that one side being tighter. Always good to be aware of our body and how things are working. Still keep an eye on that breath, smooth and controlled. And slowly and gently bring those knees back up, scooting yourself centered to the mat. Hug the knees to the chest and rock a little side to side, just massaging that low back. Then stop in the center and bring your forehead towards the knees. Help neutralize our spine. Then relax the neck. And here, if you'd like to take that legs up the wall for Shavasana, definitely do so. If not, grab that bolster and slide it underneath your knees for Shavasana, helping to just flatten out that low back, releasing some of the pressure there. So getting comfortable again, either legs up the wall or the bolster under the knees, palms down by the side, tuck those shoulders underneath, let the eyes softly close. Just take a few deep breaths. Since we were in a twist, we want to make sure that we are opening everything back up before returning to that natural breath. And just simply using this time to be aware of the present moment, the here and now. Every inhale, still allowing yourself to feel more light and more calm. And every exhale, just grounding against that mat, the earth below you. Allow your thoughts to just float right by. No need to strain the mind or strain that breath anymore. Just taking this moment to pause and feel. And gently wiggle those fingers and the toes, just bringing some sensation back to the body. Maybe even rocking your head a little side to side. And reach those arms up over the head. Take a nice long body stretch. If you have that bolster under your knees, just take a moment with one leg to just push it off to the side. If you're in legs up the wall, start to ease your way out of the pose. Straighten those legs back down the mat for one more long body stretch, reaching those arms up. Stretch it out, and then leaving your right arm where it is, left hand to the stomach. Bend at the knees, and take a moment and gently roll to that right side, resting for a moment in the fetal position. Always using this as a chance just to thank yourself for dedicating the time to your body and mind. Still with eyes closed, begin to use those hands to help lift your way back up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Keep those palms up over the knees, sitting nice and tall, roll those shoulders up and down the back. Begin to exhale all remaining air and take a deep inhale through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Bring your hands together at heart center, rub those palms together and create your own heat and energy. Placing your palms up over the eyes, letting them just gently blink their way open, feeling that heat and energy traveling back inside the body, awakening our mind.
Bring the hands back to heart center. Namaste.